Good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Morris, and I'm here today to read you one of my favorite math books, Math Curse. I love this book. I used to read it in my classroom all the time as a teacher, and you know that the M in STEAM stands for math. So today we're going to take a look at what happens when somebody starts thinking about math all the time. On Monday in math class, Mrs. Fibonacci says, "You know, you can think of almost everything as a math problem." On Tuesday, I started having problems. I wake up at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. Suddenly, it's a problem. If my bus leaves at 8, will I make it on time? How many minutes in 1 hour? How many teeth in one mouth? I look in my closet and the problem gets worse. I have 1 white shirt, 3 blue shirts, 3 striped shirts, and 1 ugly plaid shirt my Uncle Zeno sent me. How many shirts is there altogether? How many shirts would I have if I threw that awful plaid shirt away? And when will Uncle Zeno quit sending me ugly shirts? I'm getting a little worried. Everything seems to be a problem now. I take the milk out for my cereal and I wonder, how many quarts in a gallon? How many pints in a quart? How many inches in a foot? How many feet in a yard? How many yards in a neighborhood? And how many inches in a pint? How many feet in my shoes? I don't even bother to take out the cereal. I don't want to know. How many flakes in a bowl? Mrs. Fibonacci has obviously put a math curse on me, and everything I look at or think about has become a math problem. Has that ever happened to you? I try to get on the bus without thinking about anything, but there are 5 kids already on the bus. 5 kids get on my stop. 5 more get on at the next stop, and 5 more get on at the last stop. True or false? What is the bus driver's name? I like the humor in this book. Mrs. Fibonacci has this chart of what the month looks like, or what the month everyone's birthday is in. Which month has the most birthdays? Which month has the fewest? Why doesn't February have a W? Don't you think this chart looks sort of like a row of buildings? Do you ever look at the clouds and think they look like something else? What does this ink blot look like to you? His mind's wandering off. The whole morning is one problem after another. There are 24 kids in my class. I just know someone's going to bring cupcakes to share. We sit in 4 rows with 6 desks in each row. What if Mrs. Fibonacci rearranges the desk to make over 6 rows, 8 rows, 3 rows, 2 rows? I count the 24 kids in our class again, and this time I count by twos. Jake scratches his paper with 1 finger. How many fingers are in our class? Casey pulls Eric's ear. How many ears are in our class? The new girl, Kelly, sticks her tongue out at me. How many tongues are in our class? I'm about to really lose it when the lunch bell rings. I don't know if you could see the illustrations, but they're pretty cool in this book too. I love all the chaos. Unfortunately for me, lunch is pizza and apple pie. Each pizza is cut into 8 equal slices. Each pie is cut into 6 equal slices. And you know what that means? Fractions. If I want 2 slices of pizza, should I ask for A, 1/8 of a pizza, B, 2/8 of a pizza, or C, 2 slices of pizza? What is another way to say half of an apple pie? 2/6? 3/6, or la moitié une tarte aux pommes. I don't really speak French, but I'm trying to do my best. Which tastes greater, a half of a pizza or a half of an apple pie? We haven't studied fractions yet, so I take 12 carrot sticks 3 at a time and eat them 2 at a time. In the afternoon, every subject is a problem. Social studies is a geography problem. The Mississippi River is about 4,000 kilometers long. An M&M is about 1 centimeter long. There are 100 centimeters in a meter and 1,000 centimeters in a kilometer. Number 1, estimate how many M&Ms it would take to measure the length of the Mississippi River. Number 2, estimate how many M&Ms you would eat if you had to measure the Mississippi River with M&Ms. Bonus, can you spell Mississippi without any M&Ms? English is a word problem. If mail plus box equals mailbox, does lip minus stick equal lip? Does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal forna fish? Phys ed is a sports problem. In 1919, Babe Ruth hit 29 home runs, batted .322, and made 40,000. In 1991, the average Major League Baseball player hit 15 home runs, batted .275, and made 140,000. Circle the correct answer. Babe Ruth is less than the average modern baseball player. Babe Ruth is greater than the average modern baseball player. Or Babe Ruth equals the average modern baseball player. In art, we finally get to relax with a connect the dot picture. Here's my picture. Too bad it turns out to be a connect the ancient Mayan numerals picture. Math is just a total problem. Mrs. Fibonacci says there are many ways to count. She asks us to give some examples. Russell counts on his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Molly says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Mrs. Fibonacci says I always count 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And if you really want to do a great research project, find out why Mrs. Fibonacci counts that way. It's called the Fibonacci series. But on the planet Tetra, kids have only 2 fingers on each hand, and they count 1, 2, 3, 10. And on the planet Binary, kids have only 1 finger on each hand, and they count 1, 10. What are the next 5 numbers in each sequence above? Do you think Mrs. Fibonacci has been to the planet Tetra? How would you bowl if you lived on the planet Binary? That's a good question, because you need a whole hand to go bowling, right? We are just about to go home when Rebecca remembers the special birthday cupcakes her mom made. There are 24 kids in the class, and Rebecca has 24 cupcakes. So, what's the problem? Rebecca wants Mrs. Fibonacci to have a cupcake too. Everyone's going crazy trying to figure out what fraction of a cupcake each person will get. I'm the first to figure out the answer, and I raise my hand and I tell Mrs. Fibonacci, I'm allergic to cupcakes. Everyone, 24, all 24, believes me and gets 1 cupcake. No one has to figure out fractions. I stagger out of school. I'm a math zombie now. I have to find something to break this math curse. I decide to try chocolate. My favorite candy bar is usually 50 cents, but guess what? Today it's on sale for 50% off. And then you can see that they have an equation here. And where A equals the number of letters in your first name, B equals your age, and C equals your shoe size, I decide to buy licorice instead. I pull out my money. I have a $5 bill, a $1 bill, a quarter, and a penny. George Washington's on both the quarter and the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln is on both the penny and the $5 bill. So which is true? 1 Washington equals 25 Lincolns. Do you think that's true? 5 Washingtons equal 1 Lincoln. 1 Washington equals 100 Lincolns. And 1 Lincoln equals 20 Washingtons. Don't forget to show your work. Extra credit. How do you think Thomas Jefferson feels about all of this? I am now a raving math lunatic. What if this keeps up for a whole year? How many minutes of math madness would there be? What's your problem, says my sister. 365 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes, I snarl. Dinner brings no relief at my house. While passing the mashed potatoes, Mom says, "What your father says is false." Dad helps himself to some potatoes and says, "What your mother says is true." I think about that for a minute. If what Mom says is true, and then what Dad says is false. But if what Dad says is false, then what Mom says isn't true. And if what Mom says isn't true, then what Dad says isn't false. But that can't be true because he says that what Mom says is true, and she says that what Dad says is false. Can that be true? I think about it, and then I think about it some more, and then I think I better go to bed. I undo 8 buttons plus 2 shoelaces. I subtract 2 shoes. I multiply 2 socks and divide by 3 pillows to get 5 sheep, remainder 1, which is all I need to count before I fall asleep. And then the problem really begins. Oh gosh, what do you think is going to happen when he falls asleep? Oh my goodness. Look at the illustration in this page. I dream I'm trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. The room's covered with a lifetime of problems. I have only one piece of chalk. How do I get out? I'm about to give up when the answer to my problem comes to me. Fractions. I break the chalk in half, and then I put 2 halves together. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 1 whole. I put the hole on the wall, and I jump out. I'm free. What hole do you think he's talking about here that has to do with science? And that, my friends, is how math leads into science. Think about it. Email me what hole you think that is. I wake up Wednesday morning at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. My bus leaves at 8. What time will I be ready? Check. 7:41. No problem. I've broken the math curse. I can solve any problem. And life is just great until science class, when Mr. Newton says, "You know, you can think about almost everything as a science experiment." Mr. Newton sounds like Mr. Simmons at our school. So that is math curse. And I know sometimes math can seem overwhelming, and that's why I used to love to read this book to my class. It seems a little overwhelming, but when you really try to figure it out and you think about it all the time, all of a sudden things will get very clear, and you'll be able to apply all your math knowledge to everything you see in the world. So I hope you check this book out, and I hope you check out doing some of the problems in it. Have a great day.